Hello everybody, welcome to a church called St Peter in High Cross near Froxfield in Hampshire. I've come here today to do another one of my shoe-offs. I thought I would tackle the burning issue of which is the better shoe out of the Adios Pro and the Next Percent here. So I've done this circuit before, it's been a rolling circuit around about 5k. So I'm going to wear the Adios Pro first and then roll into the Next Percent. So as usual I'll be looking out for heart rate, RPE, and I'll put the stride on as well, see if I can see anything there, and just to see how these shoes fare at sort of more non-elite pace, shall we say, especially these days as I'm now 54 and seem to be getting ever struggling battles with keeping the running going, but still enjoying it. And right, so let's get going. So before I start, I thought I'd put an Next Percent on my left foot and an Adios Pro on my right, just to see how they compare just walking around. So yeah, so I'd say that the Next Percent does feel slightly softer just walking around. How we fare on the run, let's see in a minute. So just over a mile into my run, first half is mainly uphill, so that's about a 7:40 first mile. These shoes are okay. Feel a bit slappy maybe. I'm trying to put some effort into here, and I'm just feeling quite firm now at this speed. Quite a nice sort of sensation, but I still say I think I'm going to prefer the Next Percent, but let's see how the stats show later. So I run down in the Adios Pro, I averaged 128 beats per minute there for a course. It's about 2.6 miles, just took me about 19:30ish. I'll put the exact stats up here, so I'm going to get back. Yeah, not too bad. I mean, obviously a lot slower than I was when I did this course in the summer. I'm still trying to recover from this calf injury, still my legs are very stiff, and I've got some tape up on it as well. And it's quite cold and windy compared to a nice summer's evening when I was last here. But anyway, not a bad run out. I did feel that those Adios Pros feel quite firm and slappy, a bit like the sort of the Adizero Pro, the lower stack shape thing, but just a bit more sort of softness to them. But it's definitely feeling that it's a bit more sort of firmness to them, you know, a soft firmness. It's kind of hard to describe. When I put the Next Percent on, immediately I'm feeling like this sort of bit more sort of bounce from the actual sponge. So it's interesting to see that, you know, my sort of 7:30 pace today compared to sort of the 4:50 pace that these elites are going, is there much of a difference? And I'm not sure like I've got a sprint in me at that pace today. Anyway, let's get on with this next one and see how we do. So about a mile to go in the Next Percent run. I must say I'm feeling these slightly easier. I think just a slightly better toe off in the Next Percent, even though I'm struggling to actually get off of my toes because of my calf injury. I feel it's a bit more structured to the shoe. The Adios Pro kind of feels more slappy, whereas this, I feel like I get more of a transition through my stride. So although I said earlier it was actually softer just walking about, when I'm actually running it feels a bit firmer. That's the Next Percent, that is. But yeah, maybe it's just some shoe I'm more used to. A bit of bias because I think I thought it was going to be better for me in the first place. I've said that I'm only 6 seconds up on the Adios Pro, and but it just feels slightly easier. Let's check in the stats later. So I run down in the Next Percent. That was slightly quicker, though my average heart rate looked exactly the same. It was about 9 seconds quicker. I'll get the exact stats later. It just sort of felt slightly easier. Obviously it's my second run now, so feeling a bit tired as well. So I think, you know, have I got time to do this course in reverse just to get a real good test to see how these shoes perform when I get tired? So I think that's what I'll do. I'll try and run this course in reverse. I've got the Adios Pros back on again now and see how it feels the other way. Got a nice little downhill to start anyway. Right, let's get this done. So nearly done on the Adios Pro run. I think I'm actually enjoying these better the second time round. Feeling a bit more appreciation for the foam this time. It just feels slightly easier for some reason. And I saw it more smoother. Right. So funny how perceptions can change. But we'll see what the time says. Okay, run down the Adios Pro. I think it was slightly slower that way and about 1 beat higher on the heart rate. I think it was 129. I'll put the stats up in a minute. It just felt slightly nicer that run. I think maybe just a bit more help from the cushioning, just felt a bit nicer. Even though it was a bit slappy, felt like it was more sort of consistent sort of landing and toe off. Right, so let's get this run done in the Next Percent. It'll be the last one, just so I get this done before it gets dark. I've got another 19.5 minutes of running and see how we do. Hello, so run done then, the next percent, I'm all done now. I have to come onto the church here to get a bit of light just to say a final conclusion on these runs. So yeah, that was slightly quicker in the next percent, about the same heart rate, I'd say about 10 seconds quicker. I didn't actually use race activity, I just did that on the field, so 10 miles a day, which is good. And my VO2 max went up 2 points as well, from 54 to 56, so I must be getting a bit fitter. So just a very quick look at the stats here. I put them all out, you can actually peruse them yourself. I won't dwell on them too long this time because we've got quite a repetitive run. So we've got the Adios Pro, next percent going one way and then going back the other way. So all these times basically should be very comparable. And as you can see, I was 7 seconds quicker on the next percent on the first one, and I was 14 seconds quicker on the next percent on the second one. And the heart rate's pretty much identical. So I'll conclude from that, you know, as this course was just short of a 5k, that approximately I would appear to be about 10 seconds faster in the next percent than the Adios Pro. So I'd be interested to see if you agree with me there, and if you've done any similar tests like this yourself, what results you might get. So I hope you found this interesting, and look forward to seeing the next one. Okay, bye.